This is going to be a Christmas story that happened a long, long time ago. And I think it happened right here where I live in New Mexico. But it happened in a tiny, tiny village far off in the mountains. That little village was so deep in the mountains that hardly anyone from the village ever traveled to the outside world. And hardly anyone from the outside ever traveled to the village. The priest would only come to the little village church once every 4 or 5 years. And if the snow was deep on the ground, the way it was the year this story happened, no one at all came to or left that little village. Well, of course, back in those days, the people didn't have calendars. They had to rely on a wise old man. He was a woodcutter named Teofilo. And he could always tell them if an important date was coming. But that year, with all the snow and all the cold, the old woodcutter was kept so busy hauling firewood to keep the little fireplaces burning in the houses, he didn't notice how the weeks were slipping past. He didn't realize how close it was getting to Christmas. As Christmas approached that year, no one did anything to prepare for it. It began to look like Christmas was just going to be another snowy day. But there was somebody in that village who never forgot about Christmas. That was the old woodcutter's little gray burro, his little donkey. That makes a lot of sense. All the animals of the stable love Christmas, but no one loves it more than the donkey, because it was the donkey who carried Mary on the long journey down to Bethlehem. And even though the poor burro gets kicked around and abused all year long, at Christmas time, everyone feels thankful toward the donkey. And the donkey feels good in his heart, the way we all do when we know that we're appreciated. So when Christmas Eve arrived and the donkey saw that nothing was being done to prepare, he called a big meeting of all the animals in the stable. And he told them it looked like the people had lost track of the date. They didn't know that the next day was going to be Christmas. Well, as usual, the rooster took charge of the meeting. He started crowing, "Yo sé qué hacer, yo sé qué hacer. I know what to do." And he organized all the animals for a Christmas play. He assigned a part to each animal, and he told them to go and practice. And just a few minutes before midnight, they would all gather together again, and then the fun would begin. That night at midnight, the people were all snoring away in their beds. And the rooster flew up to the roof of the little village church and started crowing. He sang like this: "Cristo nació, Cristo nació." And then from the middle of the village plaza, the donkey began to break, "Donde? Donde?" And the goat bleated, "En Belén, en Belén." And then the hen ran clucking through the streets saying, "Pa qué? Pa qué? Pa qué?" And the duck quacked, "Pass, pass." And the old cow lowed, "Amor." The people all sat up in their beds. The children came running to their parents to find out what was going on. The husbands and wives stared at each other in amazement. Now everyone was awake, and the animals started again. First, the rooster crowed, Cristo nació! Everyone heard it, and they understood what he was saying. Christ is born. Cristo nació. And then the donkey asked its question, ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? Where, the donkey was saying, and ¿dónde? And the goat bleated the answer, in Bethlehem. En Belén. And the hen clucked her question, ¿Pa qué? ¿Pa qué? ¿Pa qué? What for? She was asking. ¿Para qué? And then the duck and the cow gave the answer everyone knows. Peace and love. Paz y amor. The people all said, Ay, será la Nochebuena. This must be Christmas Eve. And they jumped out of their beds and they started preparing for Christmas. They started cooking and baking and decorating their homes. They lined the road that led into the village with luminarias. They worked all night long. And then the next morning, the people all went to the stable to thank the animals for reminding them of Christmas. They said, Gracias, animalitos. Muchas gracias. They probably thought the animals would say, Por nada. You're welcome. And maybe even wish them Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas. But that's not what happened. The rooster just crowed, "Arr, arr, arr." And the donkey just brayed, "Aw, aw." And the goat bleated, "Nah, nah." The hen just clucked, "Buck, buck, 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 buck." And the duck, "Quack, quack, quack." The old cow mooed. No one understood what had happened. But never again did they forget to prepare for Christmas. The old woodcutter's not around anymore. But now the people do have calendars. And on Christmas Eve, they are not sleeping in their beds. They're all at the little village church to attend the midnight mass. And do you know what you call the midnight mass on Christmas Eve? You call it La Misa del Gallo, the Mass of the Rooster. Some people say it's called that because a rooster woke everyone up one Christmas Eve a long time ago. But then you might think, wait a minute, that's not fair. It was really the donkey's idea. But don't worry. The donkey was honored in a very special way too. Even though the donkey just brayed, "Oh," when the people went to the stable that Christmas morning, something had changed on that donkey. On his gray back, there was a line of darker hair that ran all up and down his spine. And then there was another line of dark hair that ran across his shoulders. And together, those two lines of dark hair made a cross on the donkey's back. And ever since then, every donkey has that pattern on its back. The next time you see a donkey, look for it. You'll see it. And remember, the wise little burro has a cross on his back because he is the one who never forgets Christmas.